Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir. I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment right.
If you're innocent, why are you taking the 5th Amendment?
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today.
The Lincoln Project is known for doing something that very few people are willing to do: criticizing Trump with the speed of a late-night comedian and the accuracy of a surgeon. This is because the political climate is full with attack ads, sound bites, and Twitter wars. The Lincoln Project is known for doing this. This is one of the aspects that have helped the Lincoln Project be successful.
He thinks you're sheep. Stupid sheep. This is it. This is the moment you have to decide if hiding the secrets of a giant pedophile criminal enterprise is really who you are. What about it, MAGA? You gonna take this? Jeffrey Epstein takes the 5th about Donald Trump, and he won't release the Epstein file and the release of the Epstein files. Or be a sheep.
This element of the project has made the Lincoln Project well known. Quick favor before we move on: if you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
Aw, Elon, what happened? You thought MAGA loved you. You spent so much money. You sacrificed so much. You thought the relationship was special. You thought you'd be together forever. True love. They're laughing at you, Elon.
Elon Musk is illegal. He's got to go too.
You're Elon Musk. You don't have to take this.
Over the weekend, Musk announced he would be forming a new political party called the America Party.
Oh, Elon, you were such a fool. You thought the stripper really loved you. MAGA took your money and then kicked you out. Over $300 million, and all you got was that fake gold key.
Because of this, the Lincoln Project has built a strong name for itself in the industry. This week, though, they not only made fun of the former president, but they also prepared 2 funny fake ads that made him look like an idiot. This situation made the problem much worse than it was the week before. The way these ads were sent out was not only cruel, but it was also disrespectful to the group that was supposed to get them. What made Trump say what he did? You asked the question that has to be answered. There is no doubt that it is something that can't be copied, hence it can't be replaced.
Trump's the insider politician. You're the true outsider. They say it can't be done. You've heard that before. They won't laugh when you're winning. You saw Donald Trump up close. You know the truth. You know why the Epstein files will never be released. That big, beautiful bill was one fuck you, Elon Musk.
Let's go on an amazing trip that will also take us back in time. Early on Monday morning, the Lincoln Project fired its first missile. Well-known Republican strategists set up this group, and it is well known for its fierce attacks on Trump. People are paying a lot of attention to the Lincoln Project right now because of the nasty things they did to President Trump. The Lincoln Project's efforts to make President Trump less effective have gotten a lot of attention from the public. The ad's title, "The Emperor's New Mugshot," made it apparent that it was a harsh parody of Trump's now famous arrest photo from Fulton County. Caricature was a very important way to understand the picture that was being made.
Oops, Donald. You thought you sent JD Vance to talk to Rupert Murdoch about stopping the Epstein story. Well, that didn't work. But there's something you should worry about, Donald. Something you should think about. Maybe they talked about when to start the 25th Amendment process to take you out. You should have sent Don Jr. or someone else that you could trust. Because you know JD Vance will tell anybody whatever it takes to get what he wants. What if JD Vance cuts a deal with Rupert? Maybe JD Vance and Rupert figured out the succession. Who comes after you? They don't want to wait.
In particular, it was a joke about the kinds of ads that were being aired. The music playing in the background and the picture of Donald Trump were both set up in a way that made it look like a cover for a fashion magazine. The person who was talking said, "This autumn, orange is the new authoritarian," and their assessment of the scenario was mostly correct. Trump sets new low standards, going from being indicted to being iconic.
And Rupert, he won't just listen to JD. He'll take action. And if JD and Rupert get their way, you'll lose, Donald. You'll lose everything.
It also has a fascist vibe and a criminal chic vibe at the same time. The narrator told the participants the following things to think about in a tone that was mock heroic. What do you believe is the most appealing thing accessible right now for people that are interested? Since the start of this inquiry, there have been 91 criminal charges filed. The cult still gets a lot of support. Video of Trump waving was mixed in with footage of loud rallies, court humor, and fans in a way that made it seem like they were all part of the same thing.
America is up for grabs. While you pay more for groceries, gas, and rent, he's cashing in favors from enemies of America, global criminals. The luxurious mega jet Trump accepted from an Islamic dictator allied with Iran wasn't just a gift. It's a sign, a for sale sign, and the financial backers of Hamas terrorists. It's not just corrupt, it's oligarchy. It's our entire system twisted to make the Trump family rich.
There were so many amusing things spoken in each of these scenarios that Saturday Night Live would have cringed. This was true from the start to the end. The things you find on social media sites like YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok will shock you. In the end, this led to a big success. The Lincoln Project, on the other hand, went on without any problems even though this happened. The man who is known in Mar-a-Lago for his little hands, his ability to strike out at any time, and his amazing lies. Lies that are intended to be false.
You get higher prices, he gets rich, the bad guys get whatever they want. No other president has ripped off America more than Donald Trump. America isn't sold off yet, but the bidding has started and sold us out for trinkets and loose change. He doesn't see a problem with any of it. In fact, he says everything is going according to plan.
He promised walls, but he didn't build any tall ones. He doesn't tell the truth, and he makes everyone mad, he said in anger. Not only were all the photographs funny, but they were also really well made and beautifully arranged. The actor who played Donald Trump was upset with himself for doing some strange things.
When Trump goes hard on something, just bet on the dip. Wait for Trump to blink. Then cash in on the rebound. Same trade every time. It's the taco trade. It's amazing. Some people still think Donald Trump knows how to negotiate, that he's a deal maker. But really, he's a chicken. Wall Street figured it out because Trump always chickens out. He talks a big game on tariffs, then backs down. Over and over. He'll hurt American businesses, farms, and workers playing his games. But every time it comes down to it, he chickens out.
These included putting private information in a golf bag, dancing in front of a burning constitution, and singing to a toilet that was covered in gold. All of these things happened at the same moment. It was hard to see the comedy since it was so harsh. To put things in perspective, it's vital to remember that Trump was the person who was most hurt by the situation compared to his peers. Trump didn't write anything on Truth Social, even though the incident happened just a few hours ago.
Like a baby, like a dog. Every single time. Trump always chickens out. He's not a deal maker. He's not a negotiator. He's a taco.
Truth Social said that the post has been created. He uses every word in his speech, including the following. The Lincoln Project is made up of a bunch of losers, degenerates, and perverts who have never been able to do anything well. They have never been able to do anything right, no matter what they have tried. This person was one of the people who worked on the Lincoln Project. They are making a fake video since they now know I will win. This explains the way they act. I just can't believe that, in fact. He then wrote the next post, which is shown in the next paragraphs. No one is laughing. These ads are so disgusting that they can make you sick. People often say things like, I am very dignified and I stand for dignity. I stand for dignity. The world we live in doesn't have any truth or lies.
Now, air travel is worse than ever.
Newark International Airport experienced its third major equipment outage in less than 2 weeks over the weekend, causing problems not only in the New York area, but airports across the country.
Most of us want a government that does its job and leaves us alone. The Trump administration is failing. Trump turned Elon Musk loose with a chainsaw. And what happened? Chaos. Musk slashed jobs at the Federal Aviation Administration. Trump put a longtime heroin addict kook in charge of our nation's health. It's a clown show.
The country's deadly measles outbreak is getting worse.
New cases of the bird flu are raising alarms among health officials.
Jake Tapper, who works for CNN, said the following in response to the audience's laughter during the live broadcast of the ad. One option is that there is a well-known type of performance art that can be called political trolling. This type of art is a great example of the principle of engagement. Rachel Maddow was in control of the show even though she was the one who hosted the ads that were shown on MSNBC. Before the perfect mirror that shows the destruction Trump has caused gets the chance to show him back, Broadway gives him a wink. Trump's getting a wink back right now because of this wink. Even the hosts of late night shows couldn't say no to the chance because it was too tempting for them to say no to anything. Here are some of the things that Jimmy Kimmel said at different times. She really meant it when she told them to forget about the debates. The Lincoln Project should host the next political talent show in the United States. The program should be called So You Think You Can Dictate. If this is the case, the question that comes up is, why are these ads having such a big effect right now? Even if they don't like Trump, they purposely damage his credibility when they talk about events.
Storms, hurricanes, fierce heat. No one's getting out of Alligator Alcatraz. The people in Alligator Alcatraz are subhumans. Alligator Alcatraz, an impregnable prison camp surrounded by miles of the most deadly parts of Florida. Poisonous snakes, fierce and hungry alligators, miles of unmapped swamps, the worst of the worst. Alligator Alcatraz is going to teach these criminals a lesson. If you're upset by Alligator Alcatraz, just wait. Because when the Trump era ends, we're keeping it.
One of the most important reasons for this is that it is true. At the start of the ad campaign, his most outrageous picture, his mugshot, was turned into a funny sign instead of the badge of pride he had planned to produce before the campaign started. He wanted to turn it into a badge of glory. He was able to do this by flipping over his most audacious portrait. He changed the picture into a symbol that was meant to express the feeling of laughter in order to do this. During the second wave, the MAGA movement became little more than a dream chorus line. This was done by taking away the movement's aura of grandeur and strength and replacing it with disdain and tap shoes. As a direct result of this process, the MAGA movement became a dream chorus line. This led to the creation of a chorus line of illusion, and the action was limited to it. This and other things that happened because of this turned the MAGA movement into a line of fools. The most important thing that happened because of it was that they were able to annoy Trump, and everyone else saw it. The people on his campaign team didn't waste any time getting to work. They focused on themselves and the goals they were trying to reach.
Keeping it open for the corrupt crypto scammers like Don Jr., who cashed in on the presidency. Keeping it open for folks like Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and Tom Homan. You built this, MAGA, and some of you will enjoy the view from inside the wire. Who ignore the law, ignore court orders, and deploy masked cops in warrantless raids. We're even keeping it open for the state and federal agents who abuse their power.
The Lincoln Project published a lot of aggressive news releases that made a lot of charges against them, such defamation, interfering with elections, and even psychological abuse of a former president. These claims came about because the group tried to undermine itself. The organization chose to publish and send out aggressive press releases, which led to these accusations. An assistant who asked to remain anonymous so that the material might stay secret said that the following information was given to a writer in a way that was not made public. There is a lot of anger in this community. After thinking about it, he decided that he should watch the ad 5 times. He said again after a while, "This is not funny. In the legal system, this kind of activity is called treason." The Lincoln Project's response at this time was relatively reasonable compared to what was expected. They started uploading photographs of Trump's outburst on Truth Social right away, along with the following comment in a positive post. "It looks like we were lucky enough to find something when all is said and done." The gang made an announcement in response to a third commercial that mentioned a parody named Escape from Mar-a-Lago that was coming soon. This commercial was more than just a teaser for the parody. It was a full-fledged commercial. There was a promise made during the ad that there will be even less mercy. On the one hand, some politicians say that the most recent set of ads shows a big change in the already nasty 2024 election cycle. A lot of people who are politically involved agree with this point of view. The Lincoln Project is using mocking as a weapon with amazing success. Most candidates, on the other hand, are responding in a practical way because of the situation they are in right now. The strategists for the Democratic Party have been told this knowledge. It's not just about policy, says someone who knows the Democratic National Committee well. If a message has emotional undertones, the voters' reaction to it is highly affected by whether or not those overtones are present. People being able to laugh at Trump again is hurting his brand even more. People who work on the Lincoln Project are taking care of these duties. Trump also thinks that a business's brand is the most important part of it. He had finished establishing his own persona because of all the power, domination, and victories he had achieved. The Lincoln Project, on the other hand, is trying to do rid of that image one line and frame at a time. We are currently working on getting rid of this entry. Instead of scaring Trump, they are using farce on purpose to neutralize him. They are doing this to reach their political goals. They are clearly doing this. The people who support the Lincoln Project are trying to show this truth throughout their whole argument. They think that if people think about Trump carefully, his authoritarian tendencies will have a chance to grow. This is the point they are trying to make, so it is an important aspect of the argument they are making. It is assumed that they are taking away his power because they have limited his movement to the point that it is regarded to be a joke. One of the strategists who worked on the Lincoln Project in its early days said the following: "When it comes to dealing with a demagogue in politics, white papers on policy don't give you much useful information. You shouldn't use them at all. You can beat him the same way he beats some other people, by using showmanship, to try to make someone feel bad and humiliated. What's happening? Using sarcasm is a good way to talk to people. Some people think that making fun of Trump will only make him more popular, while others think that the ads go too far and are not suitable." As soon as the recordings were made public, Fox News staff members attacked them right away, calling them disgusting, immature, and proof that the left can't win without playing dirty. Given the current situation, Tucker Carlson's view of the event as a coordinated media assassination attempt disguised as comedy is a reasonable one. Even so, the data points to the need to take a certain course of action. In less than a week, more than 20 million people have watched both movies. They have become popular on all of the major platforms, and on TikTok, people are even making challenges where they replicate sequences from Trump musical and lip-sync fake songs. In addition, news organizations and publications from all around the world are covering it. The BBC News story had the following headline: "Trump is outraged by the United States satire blitzkrieg. The Lincoln Project musical is spreading like wildfire." Even while he is still fighting indictments, defending himself against legal threats, and avoiding questions about January 6th, the President of the United States is still running his campaign. The President already has a lot to do, and this latest round of satire just makes things worse for him. I would like to know more about the event that is coming up. A bunch of protesters dressed in full costume made these funny comments over the microphone. Someone was seen carrying a sign that said "Make satire great again," and wearing a costume that looked like Broadway Trump. This was much more shocking than the last thing that happened. Dan Rather wrote the clearest explanation of the problem in a piece that was published on Threads. Here is a summary of his analysis. This political strategy might be the best one to use in this case, given the details of the circumstance. Some people think that the best way to talk to someone else is to make them laugh. While they go about their business, they are slowly rewriting the rules that govern political strife. It shouldn't be a surprise that the Lincoln Project is still going strong, as they have promised to create fresh ads. These people are not just fighting, they are also changing the terms of the political fight. What should be done next given that this is the case? Do you think Trump will work more in your opinion? Sue, are you with me? Do you think he might make his own parody ad as a way to get back at him? Is there any chance that voters will remember seeing him sing about subpoenas and tap dance and golden shoes when the next election rolls around? No matter what the situation is, it's clear that the Lincoln Project has gotten into Trump's head, and right now he's hearing a lot of laughter.